Welcome to Influencers, where we bring you the people that influence our state, our city, and sometimes their product has a great influence. And that's what we're going to be talking about today with my friend Michael Zimmer from Nevada Cooler Pad. And he does have a cool cooler pad. So, Mike, grateful for you to be here. Good to join us at the Latin Chamber of Commerce. You're a great member with a great product. I know you recently were involved with our United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce National Conference. People were buzzing all over the place with your booth and how you displayed that product. So I'm just curious, how did you get to Nevada? And tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Peter. Great to be here. Thank you again for your guys' partnership. That's a fun story, actually. I tell all my folks that I meet that I'm about as native to Nevada as you could possibly be. I actually wasn't officially hatched here, but I moved here with my dad, who and family that came here in the year I was hatched in '61 to join my grandfather. God rest his soul, and a pioneer of Las Vegas, of the air filtration industry here. He founded an air filter company in Las Vegas, Peter, in 1955.
Wow!
And my dad joined his dad and to help him, and so that's the legacy of part of the Nevada Cooler Pad enterprise that you referred to, and so that's what got us here. And so I've been in and around the air filtration business all my life.
That's interesting. So third generation then, huh?
Third generation, absolutely. Made some, grew up in the, we'll call it the commercial sector, working in the HVAC wholesalers and contractors, and working with selling to hotels and hospitals and what have you. Broke away from that actually in the early 90s and developed a national retail company called Pura Filter. We were one of the companies back in the early 90s that ultimately built a factory here. It was one of the first filter factories to be in Las Vegas. Proudly could say that what happens here doesn't always stay here.
That's right.
So yeah, it was a great venture, and now kind of coming full circle with my dad passing and us deciding to keep the legacy going, Peter, with Nevada Cooler Pad and related companies. We started the beta of this product, the Zephyr product, in a new factory. We opened a new factory on the north end of town, and real excited about the prospects, not just to support this community, but filter users across the country, especially with everything with this pandemic going on.
That's right. And like I mentioned, you recently participated in the national conference that the Latin Chamber brought to town. What's the feedback? I got some feedback that I'm going to share with you, but I'm wondering what's the feedback that you've gotten?
Yeah, Robert Young, one of our top sales professionals on our team, he and Scott did a great job putting that together, and the report back was just fantastic. There's such a myriad of different companies and individuals and folks that attended the show, of all over. And so as we have had the opportunity to, when you get a chance to really display the product, Peter, and show folks how it works and why it's such a great alternative and an upgrade to current offerings, it is quite fun to get the kind of response, and because we've been getting it at pretty much everywhere we show it. It's just something that once people learn about it, they can't imagine not having it possibly be part of their system.
Yeah, I guess I got a lot of feedback. People were amazed, but one person did ask me a question that I said I'm going to direct that question directly. Because it's a thicker filter, does that mean what the motor is, as far as the air condition, is working harder?
Well, it's a great question, and one in which we've been challenged with in the air filter industry as filtration continues to evolve, and as different medias and different efficiencies evolve. Again, what I always use as somewhat of a best kind of layman's example is the best air filter in the world, Peter, is a piece of plywood. Just throw it up there and it'll pretty much stop everything, right?
Okay.
But the reality is the secret to filtration in being able to use better filtration is you want to have more surface area. That allows the air to flow across and breathe easier, and therefore not putting restriction on the system. So if we were using this media, this higher efficiency media, MERV 13 is all the buzzword these days. If you've been following any news on COVID and CDC and all the recommendations with ASHRAE, if you took your 1-inch air filter out of your home and tried to replace it with another 1-inch air filter, that would be a problem, because that additional restriction and no additional surface area would be problematic for the system. So how we've designed our product is by making it a deeper pleat, actually 3 inches deep, gives you 3 times the surface area that you would have if you put a 1-inch filter. Now you get a chance for that filter to actually, and truth be told, that if you look at our testing that we've done, it actually amazingly is, and when it first is put in and installed, less restrictive than a typical 1-inch MERV 8 filter. Amazingly enough. Yeah. So that's based on the design of our engineers on how we made sure that there was enough surface area to compensate for that restriction.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So is that why you think your product is superior to others? Is that surface area?
Well, it's a bunch of little things, right? I mean, never is ever one, one thing. It's a sum of the parts. So we have multiple characteristics of our product. We've seen that we have a foam gasket and a header around the filter. It's used for 2 purposes. One, as the header of the filter, so that it doesn't, that kind of fits nicely into the space. And then the filter itself can then slide behind the little lip of the return. And that foam header also acts as a gasket. And there keeps the filter in place and keeps the air, to ensure that the air is not going around the filter and making sure it goes through where you want it to go, which is in through the media. And a lot of filters don't fit very tight in air filter returns. So air is easy for the air to go in and around. It's easy for the filter to drop down when the system turns off, and get that clanking sound. And
Right.
you also get the dust kind of bouncing around because it hits. Some of the dust will come off so ours doesn't do that. So, and then the depth of the filter, very important, because you don't want to we've made it deeper, but not too deep, so that it doesn't cause, where it won't fit between the return and the ductwork. You don't want it to push up against the ductwork. That's problematic also. So those are the characteristics. And again, we use Kimberly-Clark media, Kimberly-Clark, who made all of our kids' diapers. As you recall, they're one of the leaders in the air filtration world, and they were my partner back in the days when I launched PuroFilter, and they're my partner again. And so we have the best of the best media, and then all the other characteristics.
And why would you say every household should have this product? Or do you believe that every household should have it?
Well, I do believe that if any homeowner wants to have better filtration, there's many different options that are available through installed systems, all kinds of things that they can do, portable HEPA cleaners and what have you. But if you want something that is adaptable without any conversion cost, the simplest of upgrades, where the filter you can take one filter out and just put this in, then and have a filter that not only is significantly more efficient, but actually will last 6 months or longer. So now you got now you got a product that twice a year you have to, you only have to change it. The cost associated with buying other filters of similar type and having to change them more frequently. This will be, very similar in cost and give you, overall cost, the cost of the life of the filter. And so again, it's the best available option without having to make any other, expensive improvements to your air conditioner. Many of the air conditioning companies like Trane and Carrier, they offer, and Lennox, they offer these IAQ, sophisticated, air filtration systems along with their air conditioners, but they could be $1,000, $2,000, to add on to your unit. And a lot of, just again, this is a very affordable option.
Right. I'm just curious. I could tell you're passionate about the filter system. How did it come to life? How did this product finally make it to where it is today?
We start the concept of the filter, actually, Peter, goes back probably back as far as 10 years ago, and we first started formulating the idea of it, but it just took a while for us to kind of work towards being in a position to launch it, and so 4 or 5 years ago, we set up equipment. And we set up in the back of the vatican cooler pad, enough facilities to allow us to start building the filter and do a beta. And we were fortunate; we had very good customers that were Nevada, Las Vegas-based contractors who were very interested in better quality products for their customers. They were using something similar, but not as well designed and as efficient and cost efficient as ours. And so it was an easy to test out. So we started our beta and took a couple years, and then quite honestly, the California, which now I think we're hearing is these codes are moving into Vegas due to the fires before the pandemic. They started putting new legislation in that required that all new home filtration, all new construction requires a MERV 13 air filter. And this was, the fall of 2019. And we met with many of our wholesale friends that have wholesale operations there, and they looked at our product and tested it and said, that's the answer. And so we ramped up a factory and started preparing to support that. And then the pandemic has hit, and we always had plans to grow it across the Sunbelt states, because that's where this product is best, is throughout the Sunbelt states. And that's kind of put us now into a position where there's just continues to be more and more demand. We just built the Dallas factory that we're opening here relatively soon.
Is this a competitive space, and is this a patented product?
It's not patented. Most filtration, it's been around, Peter, for so long that there's not a whole lot of patents that exist. But it's for us, we chose to make a product that was both a great product and also price disruptive. And so we wanted to. We decided that this is a product that we want to get in as many consumers' hands as possible. And the best way to do that was to price it so that by the time it made it to the consumer, it was a very affordable option.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So what's the future? Tell us about the future.
Well, we're, it's now that things are finally settling with the pandemic, that one of the challenges of opening this factory, Peter, during the pandemic, was supply lines were extremely challenging. It used to be that in the MERV 13 air filters were maybe 5% of the total sales of the entire filter industry, and then overnight the demand went to 50%.
Wow!
Right. There was no supply. There was not a supplier in the country that could keep up with that. There's no way you can, expand your production to meet that type of demand. So everybody got put on allocation. We were all, just getting as much materials as we could possibly get, based upon, where we are in the pecking order. And so difficult to grow, as you can imagine, as a brand new startup company when you can only get so much material. Fortunately, that's starting to soften up and loosen up on the supply side, and that'll help us, be able to make better, growth decisions on, open this factory in Texas as we're opening and beyond. Our goal is to work with, the national host, HVAC industry, and help develop that through them and through the contractors to get them in as many homes as we possibly can. So very exciting times.
Well, Michael Zimmer, you did a great job telling us about your product. I've used it. I have it in my home, and I can tell you I've seen a difference, and most importantly, so has my wife. And
Great.
so I'm happy to help you promote this product. I think it's a great product, and I think you guys do a great job. Anything in closing?
No, I think that covers it. I mean, we're just obviously very proud to be one of the few manufacturers in the state of Nevada. As there's just not very many of us, and so it's exciting. It's really that's the fun part about this business and our company, is that we actually can to support and build. And we raised capital through new market tax credits, which was fantastic, and we went into enterprise zones and to help bring jobs. And so I think we're excited about that. We're excited about continue to grow that and continue to be a manufacturing leader here. So that's fun, and we appreciate all your partnership.
Yeah, no, and it is a partnership, and we're excited about everything you just said. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on this episode of Influencers. This time, influencing the air we breathe. How important is that? We'll see you on the next show. Thank you.